Hey everybody, it's Karyl Morris from the Image Impact Group, and today you are getting an exclusive look at our upcoming new podcast, The Visibility Room, on air and off script. Now, these conversations are a little bit shorter. You're going to see that they're just one camera, and all that is changing. We're going to be more in depth with more leaders, and you're going to see this beautiful 3-camera setup with phenomenal audio. All right, you guys, get excited. Let's hop into the podcast. Hey everybody, it's Karyl Morris from the Image Impact Group and the Visibility Room on air. And today I have with me Amanda Mohan. Amanda, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So on this interview program on air, we like to talk to people about leadership and visibility. And Amanda is so great in both areas. And I wanted to ask you some rapid fire questions. And then I have some 3 industry questions for you. You ready?
Sounds great.
Okay, so first of all, for all of you out there, Amanda is an engineering manager. She is a people leader, and she is also known as the badass engineer because she is.
Yep.
Are you ready?
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, she's ready. What is the first impression you want others to have of you?
I want to be a servant leader that is confident and bold and creating safe spaces for difficult conversations.
I love that. Okay, and what's a favorite way to connect with others?
Transparency, open, honest communication, saying what you know, and if you can't say something, saying that. So.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, and what builds credibility faster? Expertise, presence, or consistency?
I'd say the combination of presence and consistency. Expertise should come through, assuming that you are consistent and you give the presence that you are an expert.
Boom. This is why we're having this conversation, people. All right, what's a trust killer that you often see?
Oh, it is the lack of transparency and communication. Quite honestly, especially in leaders, being silent, not being there for your people and showing that you are just another person with them, right? That you're on the same journey with them.
Yeah.
It's okay to say that you just don't know or you can't say at this moment. And I find that a lot of leaders, when they're afraid, they just stay silent, and that can kill any and all trust that your colleagues and employees have with you.
Yeah, well said, well said. And on that note, what is a leadership lesson that has stayed with you?
As I've grown to be a more experienced leader, it's continuously improving that transparency and communication. Not everybody communicates the same way, so even though you're sending this message, it doesn't mean it's received in the same way that you intend. So being able to adapt and recognize where you make a mistake and pivot, right? But we're all human, nobody's perfect. So also being able to admit that and adjust accordingly, right?
Yeah.
Realizing and recognizing the humanity in all of it.
I love that. And, I know from our work together and our friendship that you work with a global team.
Yes.
And that has got to be challenging. So on that note of trust and communication, how do you work with people that are across the globe? I mean, there are different time frames, different languages, different everything.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of continuous learning. I try to take cultural trainings where possible. I continuously am reading up on, self-improvement books and so forth, especially on communication in a global, diverse world. It's that continuous adaptation and willingness and openness. Having that communication and like, hey, I don't quite understand, or hey, this is what I mean. And if they say they don't understand it or it doesn't come across, being able to repeat and say the message differently to make sure it's received correctly. Just the continuous adaptation and the desire and willingness to continuously learn.
I love that.
So you can adapt.
And so obviously there's been some challenges you've come across. Can you share maybe one of those challenges and how you overcame it?
Sure. I mean, anytime I've gotten the opportunity to work with somebody new, it doesn't matter if it's in the United States where I reside or globally, right? there's that continuous learning and getting to know somebody and building the trust.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can jump too much to thinking that we've built the trust. And one of the things that I've been living by, especially over the last couple of years, is if we can't answer why something is the way it is, likely it should change. I don't want to hear that we are doing it this way because we've been doing it this way for 20 years. Why did you do it that way for 20 years? Because maybe we need to adapt and evolve.
Yeah.
So getting that message across, and okay, there is always going to be a hierarchy no matter what sort of organization you live and work in. So ultimately somebody's going to make a decision, right?
Yeah.
You may not like it, but they should be able to answer the why they made that decision, how it came to be. And if they can't answer that decision, that answer with why, then likely it may not be the right answer, right?
Interesting. I have a question for you, and I am not an engineer. There's my caveat. But design thinking, where does design thinking come into the equation of any of this conversation? It's a word I've heard you use before, and it's just kind of stuck in my craw, and I wanted to ask you about design thinking.
So I think it has to really connect with that why. I think as an engineering leader and having that education in engineering has helped me really think very critically and logically to step through and get us to that why. My kids absolutely hate it because it's so logical and step by step. But as their minds are evolving as well, it's fun and interesting to see how we can build that and explain it, because stepwise approach. So I feel like that design thinking, because when you're doing a design, it's a stepwise approach, right? So being able to answer why, to me, that design thinking really helps in being able to do that.
And so tying that into what you were saying about a leadership, moment and working with cross-cultural groups, it's the step by step, and how you were saying, if you've done it for 20 years and it doesn't make sense, does design thinking maybe need to step in to evolve
and step with it? Absolutely, yeah. Because especially in humanity, right, we're all continuously evolving and changing. So one culture today may act and communicate, this way, but tomorrow it's completely different. Or the different generations. I mean, I talk about my kids, and their way of doing things is completely different than what I did growing up. So being able to recognize that, I feel like that design approach, being able to see the bigger picture and how things come together, and then why.
Oh, she's so good, you guys. I feel like there's mic drop moments all over this. So, and one last question. I would love an example of when you've either shifted a team's perspective or resolved a tough decision.
I mean, in my last couple positions, in doing process development, getting that why across, and the idea of traditional design thinking and more or less box checking, just checking that something's available versus checking to make sure that what's available is really supporting the quality, the safety, the security, the cost, all those things, I feel is kind of key to the answer. And now that I keep thinking about it, I completely forgot the question that you just asked.
Let me read it verbatim, everybody. Can you share an example of when you either shifted a team's perspective or resolved a tough
That's what it was going towards. So honestly,
I'm going to interrupt for 1 minute. So I just want you guys to know that this is why I love Amanda so much, because we have deep discussions that veer off with purpose, but it's also okay to say, hey, wait a minute, where were we going? And let's come back, right? This is what authenticity is all about, not being afraid to say, oh, we got to shut down the camera because where were we going? This is life, right? And
let's be honest, I don't have a script. Almost everything I do is very ad hoc, and it boils down to my design thinking, my engineering, my logic, and stepwise approach. So then to get back to your answer, right, in my recent roles as owning development processes, getting that shift of, instead of putting all of the evidences in a particular milestone to check, to realizing we only need certain deliverables
Sure.
that'll give you that answer as to, is my quality where it needs to be? Am I delivering the specific maturity it needs to be at this moment in time? Is it safe? Is it secure? Et cetera, et cetera. So getting away from that is everything in the box to, are the key elements in the box, and are those key elements the standards that I need right now?
Yeah.
That mind shift is what I've been able to do, like I said, in my last couple of roles, and it's been more global. So I did it on a divisional level. Actually, I started out when I was doing product development and bringing together the global team in a specific product line, then moving to a division and owning the development processes, bringing that development experience and my quality background to making it more pragmatic and practical, being able to answer the why things are the way it is, and then bringing it to what I do now for the whole company in owning the R&D processes, the research and development mindset. It's that pragmatic, practical approach with the balance of quality, safety, security, cost, right?
Yeah.
Because in this very dynamic, evolving world, we're having to develop and get products out the door so quickly. And you don't want to risk quality, safety, security, and so forth. But in the same aspect, you can't deliver all of the content in shorter amount of time, right? And you're being asked for more requirements. So it's really getting to hone in what is critical, what is key, and get away from, I don't want to say get away from, but evolve that traditional development thinking and mentality to more agile and getting the product to market faster so we're not replaced.
I love that. I love that. And you know, it's such a important conversation to have, and it's a conversation that can go on for a very long time. I wanted to give you guys a really quick introduction to Amanda. She's such a special person on so many different levels. And Amanda, your leadership always precedes you, and your visibility on LinkedIn is amazing. So thank you for coming in and chatting with us today. And if you guys have any questions for Amanda, reach out to her on LinkedIn and drop her a DM and tell her how awesome she is.
Thanks very much for having me. It's been a pleasure. Look forward to connecting.
Thank you.